Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Big Freaking Wednesday Show here on the
You.
College Football Mafia Network. Obviously, we're going to have national or playoff games on Thursday and Friday this week, so we moved the show up to Wednesday so we could get a preview in here. And then suddenly, today, late last night, shit hit the fan. We're entering the stages of Portal Combat. Demon Williams, I don't know how you want to pronounce his
Oh
name,
my
Demond,
gosh.
um, signed a rev share contract with the University of Washington and then left for the portal. And Washington is claiming that they have uh, evidence of tampering evidence.
No way.
They claim so, and they're not going to back down. So this should be very interesting to see. I mean, at this point, I don't think Washington wants him back on the team, but I think Washington wants to get paid back. I think there's punitive damages here.
Mo, and this situation's kind of wild, obviously. And like, what's the ramifications for Washington actually enforcing damages? Like, what does that say to the other recruits, the other it's kind of a risky play, right? Like, I mean, if you're signed with Washington right now and they're all of a sudden suing somebody for leaving your squad, it's not the best look for a recruit. But as far as college football, as far as Ohio State, Utah, or anybody, it's a huge win. Somebody needs to step up. Somebody needs to say no more. There's no more like signing and re-signing a contract and 30 minutes later getting a better offer than jumping over to a different school. This is freaking warped, man. It's messed up and makes no sense. Like it's not even year to year free agency. It's minute to minute free agency. And the highest bidder wins in today's world. And there's no one seemingly cares about much development. It's the highest bidder. And that's how this game is going right now. I would love to see Washington get some type of damages, bring suit against Williams. But I think that it just hurts that program even pursuing it, actually. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about it tonight on the Big Freaking Wednesday Show. I want to thank everybody who's come in here. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be previewing the games, the Fiesta and the Peach Bowl. We're going to be doing all kinds of college football stuff tonight. If you could give the stream a like, if you're new to the channel, give it a subscribe. Those things are free and they help us tremendously. And we appreciate anybody who does that.
It makes you happy too, doesn't it, Mom?
It makes me happy. Makes me happy.
Can make the man happy.
Give me a little shot of dopamine right here. But you can also support the channel by clicking the little cash icon at the window below. Leave a super chat. We read all super chats. Become a member. Gift a membership. You can do all those good things from the little cash icon. Let's say hello to the few people that have straggled in here tonight.
Let's do it.
And by the way, Nate will be here momentarily. He had a physical therapy appointment. He is on his way home, so he should be here shortly. Buckshot Kid says, wait, it's Friday today. Oh, hey, at the CFB Mafia. Good to see you, Buckshot Kid. The Big Lubbock is first.
Hey.
Okay. Skaven Yes is second.
Hey.
I put that we were 1,577th. Kyo 187. If Miami wins the Fiesta Bowl and national championship, I believe that punches their ticket into the Big Ten in the next conference realignment. Next up, ACC joins the Pac-12 in history. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
There's too many good brands left in. I won't say they're not great brands, but I mean they're stronger brands than Oregon State and Washington State. Like, let's say North Carolina State gets the backpack is severed. North Carolina State's a better brand than I think Oregon State or Washington State.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And I think if you've got enough of them and you backfill with a couple, you backfill with like a UConn, a JMU, some of these other teams that you can successfully remain an A4 conference.
I don't see ACC or the Big 12 surviving long term. We've talked about this before. The more that I do see on like the NIL with no cap, the more concerning it is too, because the finances just aren't there. Like right now, to meet the rev share, a lot of schools are just tapping their boosters to meet the rev share, not external NIL in the Big 12. Seriously, so you're going to the boosters, you're getting institutional support just to try to pay your rev share. And in this game of college football, you need a $40 million roster, not a $20 to $22 million roster. And so,
it's getting to the point you're going to need 50 to 55.
50 to 55. So if the Big 12 media payout is $31.7 million and you need to spend $50 million to field a football team, that's bad business. That's bad business. That dog don't hunt. That doesn't work. I mean, if you're in the Big 10 of the SEC and you're getting 100 million in media rights, then that's a different story between 31 million and 100 million. That's going to bite hard. It's going to bite hard the more we go down the line over the years here. So from that perspective, financially, the Big 12 and the ACC cannot exist. It's not doable to compete. And so you need to form something else to make more money. Just as like it's common, like this is economics, this is finance. Money's not coming anywhere else and stuff. So you absolutely need to form something else. I think Florida State's an interesting story too. Have you seen what's going on with Florida State? They're struggling, man, financially.
They're struggling, yeah.
The Florida State Seminoles are struggling financially, and like they're having a hard time bringing players in through the portal. Like their boosters seem pretty down right now. They don't have any billionaire boosters. So if you're Florida State and you're these big brands, I don't even know about Clemson. I haven't heard anything about Clemson. I figured they're probably in the same boat as Florida State. What the heck are they going to do to compete when they're falling so behind in the revenue gap? Yes, the brand initiative in the ACC will pay a little bit more, but it's not nearly enough. It's time actually it's just time to separate this thing for the best of the rest with Florida State, with Clemson. If you don't get in and start something new with private equity backing to compete.
There's a term called a polar shift, where a magnetic field flips from the North Pole to the South Pole. I feel like that's what we're seeing in college football. You're seeing these power teams, you mentioned it, Florida State, Clemson, flipping, and then you have teams like Texas Tech, Indiana. These teams are not traditional power football teams or blue bloods or even near bloods. And it's a polar shift. It's flipping. You got to have a big booster. Got to have a billionaire booster. You don't have a billionaire booster in this game, you're screwed. And I don't think there's any way to get around it besides legislation. And right. I don't know that the SCORE Act can get passed until we have some legislation, some guardrails. I was talking to Greg about this early this morning, like 4:00 Greg's time. He texted me.
What's Greg doing up at 4 a.m., man? Come on, what are you guys doing?
He's got to take care of his mother. So,
yeah.
But I was talking to him back and forth, and it's like I just don't have any. Like the kid's a scumbag. It's a scumbag move to sign a contract and then transfer out. And plus, there was a whole memorial for a guy who was on staff there that had passed away that was going on when he made the announcement, and it looked terrible. But I don't know that there's any punishment. Is there punishment? Because if you punish somebody, they're just going to sue.
I mean, how could there be punishment? So a rev share deal, is it a memorandum of understanding, or is it an actual legally binding contract? Because if it's a memorandum, then there's no teeth to it, man.
Here's the thing. If the school didn't pay them, how would these players feel? These players would be up in arms if the school went back on the contract or the memorandum of understanding, whatever we're referring to it as. They're calling it a contract. They're calling it a contract. So if the school went back on it, they'd be screaming bloody murder. Every agent, everybody would be screaming bloody murder if one school did that. But it seems like a lot of people are like, oh no, this for a player to do it, for a player to go back on his word, it's okay. It's part of the game now. if that's part of the game now, that's part of the reason that the game is getting ruined.
It is. It is part of the game.
Yeah,
And the game
it is.
I mean, it's Moen, like I guess the question is if you or I were a 4 or 5-star recruit, blue chip transfer portal process, like what would you do? Like I get like you've got allegiance to Ohio State, you've got a love for the Buckeyes, but if you're a 19-year-old or 20-year-old kid, wouldn't you chase it back too?
If it depends, I mean, how much money do you need? One, you know, it's like I don't know. Look, if I'm not getting playing time, yeah, I'm going to transfer to another school. But as soon as I sign on the dotted line, that's where I'm going to be at. As long as it's listed on that dotted line how long I'm going to be there. If that's a 1-year contract, I am spending 1 year at that school. I'm not going to go back on my word and say, okay, well, you guys gave me $4 million in rev share, but then I kept talking to LSU, and LSU came up with like $3 million in rev share plus this $4 million NIL deal that they're guaranteeing me that's going to go through. And that's the other thing too, because the CSC has not been codified, it has no legs. You've got these Wild West NIL deals out there that are just absolutely crushing rev share. You're spending 20.5 million in rev share, and so these teams are going to end up spending 30 to 35 million in NIL. So now you got to come up with another 30. If you're a team in the Big 12 struggling because of the media payouts, you're probably struggling with NIL as well. I get it. BYU has BYU has a massive billionaire backer. Texas Tech has a billionaire backer. Oklahoma State used to have a billionaire backer. But if you don't have a billionaire backer anymore, man, it's going to be rough to compete.
Yes. Yes, and Indiana has their own billionaire backer, Moan.
Yeah, they got Mark Cuban.
Exactly. So it's no surprise to see these teams at the top. Oregon has a billionaire backer. Like, look at it, man. Like, it's very easy to see. It's not a recipe for development. It's nothing like the college football that we knew 5, 10, 15 years ago. The game's changed where it's basically Major League Baseball with no draft and no contracts. Right?
And yeah.
It's the worst version of Major League Baseball, like, and it stinks. And like, there's nothing. The thing that makes me the most upset about the current structure is how you could have players that are in the playoff right now that are about to win a national championship, and they feel compelled to need to make a move and jump in the portal and leave their team in the midst of a Final Four run in a championship. Not just that, but coaches trying to pluck other coaches in the midst of what's the point of this game? If it's not to win a national championship, what is the point of this freaking game? Like, you tell me.
Well, it is to win a national championship, but
is
I mean, it's
obviously not.
But now it's by any means necessary, and that's what I mean. There's no guardrails, so where are we at? We're on a super highway where everybody just keeps adding onto their car. At some point, you're going to have 90 plus cars sitting back there, and 12 cars in the front.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
What's up?
How we doing?
Doing great. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing
Happy
all right.
Wednesday.
Just got some massage therapy. I'm doing really good. All limbered
Nice.
up. I'm looking for a button here. Here we go. So I know you guys were just talking about this, but I got a rant for 5 minutes. So everybody just buckle up.
Go ahead.
I am so frustrated with everybody blaming the athletes for these NIL deals. And I know you guys have probably talked about it, but this Washington quarterback, who here that's watching live right now could say that they wouldn't take a 50% or 100% raise tomorrow? I can't think of anybody that could answer that straight.
Agreed.
So there's no contracts with these players that are universal. There's no CBA. There's no employment contracts. So what are you tying their labor to? If you're not paying as somebody providing labor to your school, how can the contract be held against you as you're not an employee? It's just now it's just a personal contract, right? And you can sue somebody for personal damages. You can, like, I could go tomorrow and sue Ute because he looked at me wrong one day. I could, but it doesn't mean I'm going to win, right? Just doing a lawsuit by itself or having a contract by itself doesn't constitute damages. I'm 55 years old. I've signed contracts before that had the most ridiculous claims in them, that if they would have come back at me and tried to hold me accountable to one of these ridiculous claims, I would just say, no, I don't agree. Here's my lawyer. You guys talk. But unless it's grounded in something, and that something would be employee contracts for these players, this is now just a personal lawsuit. It's the school suing a player to get money back because they think they put some money out, right? I have no problem with buying out contracts. I have no problem with changing contracts. I have no problem with penalties if you go from school to school. I don't have problems with any of those things. But from a legal standpoint, this isn't an NIL deal we're talking about here. This is a trade of services deal. Because you're selling your name, image, and likeness as an entity. It's like you're selling a gallon of milk to somebody. You can sue against that, but you can't restrict trade. That's against the law. You can't restrict trade. You can't tell people they can't move. The funniest thing, and this cracks me up about this whole deal, is everybody says Washington can stop him from moving on. They want to tie him down. They'd let him sit on the bench. He'd never play, punish him, all this other stuff. And everybody, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. Not only is it ridiculous because it's a restraint of trade and there is no law that would limit somebody from moving from school to school, but to get out of all that, all they have to do is unenroll and re-enroll somewhere else. And then say it's LSU. He goes to LSU. They no longer have to pay you with any money from the school. They can give you a $6 million check just for showing up. It's like you pay somebody to sell a sock. They could do some stupid thing to say, I'm selling this for $6 million, and that has nothing to do with them and their rights playing at another school. So it doesn't restrict and will not stop him going somewhere else. All it will do is restrict where the money's coming from. It won't come from the university. It'll come from some booster's pocket change or something. So what bothers me about all this is that at the end of the day, the solution is out there, and it's been out there since we started this channel. It's give the players the respect they deserve, make them a 1099 contract employee, give them a CBA, and now you can start holding them to things like pay scale. You can hold them to salary cap. There's all kinds of things you can hold them to if it's negotiated, right? But none of this is negotiated because nobody wants to give the players, the athletes, the respect they deserve. And that is they're performing a service for a university and they're getting nothing for it on its own. It has to be tied to something. So that's it. I'm not debating. I know you guys have probably talked about it, probably did it a little bit more or less than I just did, but this is the conversation we need to be talking about, is at what point is one of these lawsuits, is one of these occurrences finally going to wake everybody up and say, it needs to change and we need to change it? Is this it? Everybody thought it was the Miami guy at Wisconsin, right? Where does this end? And it won't end. But Ute knows this. He works for a bank. You can write a contract with all kinds of stuff in it. It doesn't mean you can actually collect on all those claims you put in the contract.
Right. And I think the biggest thing is enforcement.
That's exactly enforcement. I said it over and over today. You could have a
CBA, but if you don't have any enforcement, no one's going to follow it.
Exactly.
Just like in the U.S., if there's no police, then people are going to just run just do whatever they want. And that's exactly what college football is. It's an unpoliced sport, and it's the only one in the world. It's unpoliced. That's why it's a mess, because there's no police. And this needs police. But schools need to agree on a police force, and they will not do that because there's an advantage. They've got an advantage. Cody Campbell, squawk, squawk, squawk. He doesn't want police because he has an advantage in this current iteration. So I'm all about a CBA, but it needs police force and teeth, and you get penalized if you do something against the agreement. Like that's all. Like this is just an unpoliced sport. It's a mess because there's no regulation, there's no rules, and people just run like it's the Wild West, and they just run roughshod, and it's an absolute cluster mess. And it's great and stuff if you're Texas Tech and you've got a billionaire who doesn't even care about a budget that will spend $100 million on a football roster and like can blow for no reason, really. So he really likes the team and everything. He's not even getting any return on his investment. It's absolutely insanity, basically. It's like a little piggy bank, fun little thing that he's doing right there. So I think that there are bigger issues. I think the core issue is the lack of regulation of police because you neutered the NCAA. The NCAA would have cured all this stuff, all of it, if you had the NCAA enforcement still. Because guess what? If this guy from Washington, if he plays that type of move, they'd get the death penalty. He'd get the death penalty. He'd get kicked out of the sport back in the day and stuff. But now he can do whatever he wants. So actually, I'm partially with you, Nate, there. But I think the bigger crux of it is just the lack of regulation, 100%. It's an unregulated market, and that's why the players are taking advantage of it. Yeah, they deserve to get paid, but they are actually, I don't think the players are actually like rightfully in a market that's like any other market that we actually experience. The NFL doesn't have a market like that. There's salary cap.
Yeah,
if there's NIL, just imagine if Patrick Mahomes had an unregulated NIL. How much is he worth? $250 million a year?
Shedeur Sanders.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders, if he stayed at Colorado, could have made about $8 million in 2 years if he would have stayed the rest of his term. He could have collected twice what he's going to get paid on his rookie contract at Cleveland, right? If you want more money, you stay in college now.
100%.
Unless you're a first-round top 10 pick, there's no reason to go to the NFL if you're not going to be in that first round and a half, I think is what I heard the last draft assessment was. If you don't get drafted in the first, 32, 45 picks, there's no reason to go to the draft. It's more cost effective to stay in college football. Look, I'm all for everything you just said, Ute. I have no problems with any of those things as long as the rules are, to me, collectively bargained and the players have representation and they've said, yeah, we agree to that. Because if that happens, now all of a sudden you can rein in all these one-time payments in NIL. You can put lump sum dollar amounts like a signing bonus like they do for the NFL. You could put a cap on that. You could put a cap for position, what you can earn as a tackle versus what you can make as a running back. You can do all of those things as long as the players have skin in the game. They're treated like an equal. And right there, now they're not. Did you guys take the time to read that Big Ten contract? I did today. The basic Big Ten contract has so many claims of ownership in it, it's wildly unenforceable. And which is why enforcement is the very first thing. You're exactly right. But what are you enforcing? Because they're not pay for play for the schools. Because they are not employees. They're classified as something else. These one-time payments, they've given them some other code so they don't have to pay things like dispensation if they get hurt. They're not guaranteed to have a limited or maximum amount of access to their education. None of that stuff has been collectively bargained. They don't have anything tying it down, which is why guys like Darren Heitner are just feasting on these lawsuits, because they're what college football is desperate for is federal protection. They want federal protection. They want antitrust exemption so they can roll everything back to the way it used to be. Roll it back to 2010 when players were making basically no money. And we'll tell you what you can do because we're the only gods in the building. And I think that would be the biggest mistake in the world. What needs to happen is instead of empowering the NCAA, who you've already said has given away the farm. They screwed this up 20, 30 years ago. They should have been ahead of this through the 2010s. We wouldn't be here if they would have negotiated this when it first came up in 2011, 2012.
True.
We would not be here. But the NCAA didn't do that. It abrogated its responsibility, and now it's asking for a freebie out. And I could not be more against that. And the last thing I'll say about this, you are exactly right that enforcement is the key. But what are you enforcing, right?
Contracts.
Those contracts have to be tied to something more than just personal services, which is
Right.
what they are now. So they need to work through that stuff. But unless, and this is what they're all avoiding, is a CBA or some sort of employee treatment for that they want. They will do anything they can to fight that. And all I hope is that one of these lawsuits, maybe it's this one, finally breaks the bank and shifts stuff forward so that this isn't what we're playing in 2 years. College football's fixed. We do have, I don't know, like I said, I don't want to call it salary caps, but you've put in place things that the players understand. We're trading this for this guaranteed money, but this is what we're giving up. And maybe one of those things they're giving up is these unicorn contracts for quarterbacks, which are now into the $4 and $5 and $6 million. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's untenable. And I'm just waiting for somebody to finally admit, okay, now's the time to make the change, because that's what it's going to take. It's not going to be by lawsuits trying to restrict trade.
So you need policing force for collective bargaining. You need the athletes to all agree to be united
right.
in the front.
Exactly.
But I think the bigger crux of it all is you need the schools or the conferences to agree. Why would Texas Tech agree to a collective bargaining? What benefit does it that kills their program? They lose their advantage because they can all of a sudden get capped on probably a salary or a rev share number and stuff.
I think there's a trade.
How do you get schools like this reined in? I don't know.
Well, that's just it. Everything is a negotiation, right? There has to be a balance. The runaway spending that we currently have, I think we've got about 3 years runtime. Book me. Everybody bookmark me right now. Clip this out and come back at me in 3 years. I think we have reached a point where it's almost the tipping point. We had that one Colorado booster. Did you guys see that? Colorado booster finally came out and said, I have a limit on the money I can give you guys. Yes, I'm a billionaire, but this has a finite end. I'm not going to just continue to give you guys money so you get 1 or 2 players. I can't do that. I'll give money to maybe a piggy bank, and then you guys pay out of that piggy bank. But don't come at me and say, we really want this one player because it's a rental. So he's crying uncle, essentially. The other side of that is Texas Tech and Michigan and Ohio State. Let's not just say Texas Tech. Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama, Georgia. Come on. Texas Tech is the poster boy, but really all the biggest brands, the top 20 brands in all of college football, have unlimited funds for NIL. Let's just say it out loud. Michigan stole not only entire coaching staffs from the state of Utah, but all the best players pretty much that were in the portal, they all went to Michigan because they have no limit on their spending. So Texas Tech is the poster child, but I'm really getting tired of people just calling them out. It's all the biggest brands that have a limitless amount of money. And by the way, Indiana was just given a major sum, unpublished, a major sum by their biggest booster. Who is it? Mark Cuban. Right? So just get off the Texas Tech train. I realize
here's the problem with that is Texas Tech's paying 30% more than anybody else.
Well,
I don't believe that to be.
They're blowing the market up, and so they are the poster child.
I don't believe that's.
I don't believe
that's.
They said it themselves.
Show me another school that bought an ad in Times Square to announce they signed a quarterback.
Texas Tech is like
that has happened in the past, Moen. There's
not
been
not for Heisman
Heisman
races for things
okay,
like that.
But what's the difference?
The Heisman race, you're going back to before NIL. Now you're good.
What?
You literally have a billionaire. You literally have a billionaire that bought a billboard to stroke his own ego. That he literally bought a player for his alma mater. That's why Texas Tech is getting called out.
Okay. You look me straight in the eye, and you tell me if Ohio State wants somebody, they aren't able to go out and get them.
They have a limit too.
Okay.
They have a limit too.
This isn't probably something. This isn't something we can talk.
If Ohio State did that, they don't buy fucking Times Square billboard.
I don't know why you're
announce it.
focusing on that one thing. If that hadn't happened,
Well,
would
I'm
your opinion be
focusing-
any different?
Yeah, I'm focusing on that one thing because it's an important thing. You're saying, well, why are people crushing down on Texas Tech? Well, behavior like that is why. When Cody
I think
Campbell comes
that's-
out there and buys a billboard, or like you says, I have to pay people 30% more to come live in Lubbock. That's why Texas
Yes.
Tech is getting crushed.
I
Texas
think
Tech
it
is
Describes
also
with the market.
I think-
It just
I
makes
think
it
that's
he's
worse.
screwed up
complete-
the market. Yeah,
That's
the market
complete
is-
deflection, guys.
What do you
that's
mean deflection?
that's just
That's a fact.
no. Okay,
It's-
no.
What
By
is the problem? Why are you so
by
offended by
transferring-
Texas Tech being the poster child? They are the poster child.
Okay,
of
that's
this,
not.
this nonsense NIL. just
Okay.
garbage, man. They're the ones pushing
You-
the limits on it.
You know as well as I do that in the past 20 years, all the biggest schools have been paying players. It just hasn't been out in the open.
The bagmen, yeah, of course.
Okay, so if we admit that, then the second step of that is exactly Texas Tech is taking that and just putting it out in the public sphere. That doesn't mean it's not being spent by those other schools.
No, but those
Look,
other
I get-
schools
I
don't
get-
have-
relative to $5,000 in a bag of McDonald's versus $100 million roster. That's what
No,
I'm
I
talking
don't-
about here. $100
I
million
think you
roster.
got-
We're approaching that. And Texas Tech's going to
at
drive
the-
it. They'll be the first ones there.
At the end of the day, I think people are using Texas Tech as a way to deflect from their own programs. Because they've all been doing it too. Michigan has proved that they can go and get whoever they want whenever they want.
Absolutely.
That's
Larry
always been that
Ellison-
way at Ohio State. It's always been that way at Alabama. It's always been that way at Georgia. Just because now we talk about it because you buy a Times Square thing, come on, Moen. That's
Ellison
an emotional
went and
reaction. That is not
Ellison
that big
went
of a
and
deal.
got Bryce. Oh, it is a big deal. Yes,
oh,
it
come
is.
on. Why does it
Because you
matter?
wanted to, because it does. It's just poor behavior.
Okay, but
It's
okay.
poor
Again, that has
behavior
nothing to do
by
with spending
Texas
money,
Tech,
though. Poor
by Cody
behavior.
Campbell. Who do you think paid for Brendan Sorsby?
I think any one of those guys could have written a check for him.
Cody Campbell wrote a check for him.
Oh,
And then he went
fine,
and said,
whatever.
"I
Does
bought
it?
a
I don't
billboard.
think it
Look at
matters.
this. Look at this. I've got so much money I can buy people, and then I'm going to put a billboard in Times Square and then say, you can't come after Texas Tech for our behavior.
Let me
Well,
ask
when
you
your
this,
behavior
Moen.
is literally showing your dick out in Times Square
Okay,
and saying,
let
I look how big my dick is. I've got billions of dollars. But please don't come down on Texas
just
Tech.
because they're obnoxious about spending money doesn't mean their activity of spending money is wrong. The
not saying
spending
it's
money
wrong.
has happened
I'm saying-
forever.
I'm not
It's
saying it's wrong.
forever.
I'm not saying it's wrong for them to spend money. He can spend as much money as he wants to.
You just don't
But
like
when
the way he does it.
When he takes it into the realm of where he's going in public and flaunting it and then crying, oh, crocodile tears for
It's
Texas
poor
Tech.
form, but it's not wrong. Under
But
the
it's
current
not wrong
format,
to
it's poor
blame
form, but
Texas
it's not wrong.
But it's not wrong to blame Texas Tech for that poor form.
I think you blame all of them. I think we should
I
be
don't
playing all those schools.
Listen, I don't think Ellison bought Bryce Underwood for Michigan last year for his girlfriend.
$12 million
Did
for a
he put
college
a-
football player.
He did. He paid him a boatload of money to become.
And that was in public, and everybody knew about it. Just
He
because he
didn't
didn't put
buy
a thing
a
in
fucking
Times.
billboard.
It-
He didn't put an ad out in the trades.
It's a
didn't
distinction
do
without a difference,
anything.
Moen.
It's not. You can't say that Texas
It
Tech
is.
didn't do anything to deserve this when they've got their
can.
booster. You can say it, but you're
No.
wrong.
Stop.
I
Okay.
mean, I would agree with you, but I
Okay.
don't want to be wrong either. So here's the thing: when you've got
I'm
a
just looking
booster
at the
that's
simple
gonna do
principle
that,
of it. I'm not looking at the emotional grab that just some guy got obnoxious and decided to brag about it in Times Square. That by itself is not the wrong thing. You're mad that he made it a big deal.
oh yeah, I think
Okay,
if
so
you're
let
gonna
me
have
ask you
poor
this.
form, you have 100% have to accept the responsibility of people coming down on you.
Okay, maybe I'm not hearing what you're saying. When you say coming down on, you're so let's be very clear. You're not objecting the fact they're spending money. You're
No,
objecting
no,
that they're
Cody
spending
can
money
spend-
that he's putting it in your face. Let's be very clear.
objection, yes, my objection is you're saying you can't come to. Why is Texas Tech the focus of this? And then you have behavior like that is making Texas Tech the focus of this.
Okay,
you
but
can't-
that's
Again,
a
Texas Tech. Well, You're the one who said we shouldn't focus on Texas Tech. Well,
I don't think you
Texas
should. I
Tech
think it's everybody's passing on responsibility because they don't want to be the ones to admit that they've also been doing it for decades. That's
we've
where I
been doing
think
it for
there's an
decades.
issue.
I have no problem admitting that.
Okay, so
we
let's
haven't
just
been
keep the
putting billboards
conversation
out.
there then. Why are we talking about anything else? Why isn't that the thing we're talking about?
Because
that's
the
really
crux
the
of the
thing.
argument. That's the crux of the argument. You're saying don't blame Texas Tech, but when they have
By
this
themselves, you
massive
don't. You
public-
should. No, like I said, there's 20 brands that all should be in one category, one envelope. And maybe it's not
19
20.
brands.
Maybe it's 10. Maybe it's
Okay.
11. But there's always been the top brands have always been able to get the players by spending money. They just
Okay,
did it so that it wasn't everybody in their dog didn't know about it. Just because now Texas Tech is doing it, I'm okay with you being, saying it's bad form and it's caddish and all. I'm totally okay with that, Mo, and you're right, it is. But it's not wrong. So I just want to make sure that we're saying
wrong.
Oh,
Not.
there we go. So let's
I agree with you on that.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Then
disagreeing
that's
with
all.
you when
That's
you-
my only point. That's my
Right.
only.
I'm disagreeing with you saying that Texas Tech shouldn't be singled out. Texas Tech.
I
is
don't
getting
think they. I
singled
still
out.
don't think they should. I think you being
Okay,
angry
well-
about it just because somebody else is spending money and maybe you're not bragging about it. That by itself, though, isn't the thing, right?
No, but you can't claim that. I'm sorry, you can't claim victimhood while you're out there broadcasting yourself.
I
in
agree with
Times
you.
Square.
I'm not saying they shouldn't get responsibility. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying they should carry their portion of it. But that portion is not just Texas Tech. Their portion is a bunch of schools that can go out and spend money whenever they want. I think where you sounded like you were agreeing, but you're really not, is you saying they shouldn't even be able to spend the money the way they are. And that's not what you're saying.
Yeah. I think they're making the market ridiculous. I think it's way out of bounds, man.
That's what I'm saying. So Moen and I, you're more on the same page with the money. You just don't like the way that they're doing it and the way it appears. Whereas Ute very much is against
I don't care.
spending the money.
Let me just clarify. I don't care how they do it, but when they do it that way, they can't complain about.
It's
getting
obnoxious. I don't disagree with you there. I'm not.
As a finance guy, if the NIL for Texas Tech football is the media rights, think about it that way. They make $32 million a year, and Cody Campbell spending $50-60 million on a roster. That's insane. That's so it's insane, and that's frustrating and stuff because not every program is a billionaire booster that wants to spend like piggy banks.
And
There's
I agree with you.
in the world that allows this.
So let's
the reason that a school like Texas Tech is any good that we're talking about them is because they got a billionaire booster.
Like, I don't you're right.
They didn't do like outside of just the dumb luck of Cody Campbell becoming a billionaire. They didn't deserve any of this. They didn't develop this. They didn't do anything to deserve this.
They've got like
that's
12,
how I think of this.
12 billionaires so it's not just Cody, but look.
It is what it is.
At the end of the
more
day,
we talk about it, the better it is for Texas Tech. This benefits them. Like, what do you think Cody Campbell's putting his face in New York because we talk about it?
There is no
hear it and they go there and they get paid more and more.
There is no doubt. You're right.
Yeah, so it's benefiting exactly right. Texas Tech. I think it's bunk sauce, though. I think it should be capped. I think making a new market by just spending 30% more than anybody else drives up this price when it's already egregious. I can't stand it.
Right.
My schools had to get a private equity deal just to freaking compete with this stuff.
Yes.
This is insanity, guys. And the Utes aren't the only one. Florida State needs a private equity deal. There's so many other schools that need it. Like $32 million ain't going to cut it in the Big 12.
I think this is all steps. Money. This is all steps. The first step is they need to give the players representation so they can now be represented in a negotiation. Then the negotiation that needs to happen is what you're talking about. And that needs to have teeth in the CSC, which was built completely wrong. It was ass backwards, desperation thrown together. And now it's not even everybody's ignoring it. So this is all steps, right? First thing is give the players representation and then let that representation negotiate all these other bigger issues. Once you have the players represented, then I think where we get to is now we can start coming up with, instead of personal contracts with individuals, now those contracts like the Big Ten contract can actually be attached to, see, the players agreed to it. We wrote a contract that includes the player's agreement. Now the player tries to leave. They can't do that, at least certainly not the way they're able to do it now, because your representation said, we give you this, and in trade, you give us something back. So it has to go in steps, but we keep skipping over the biggest part of this, and that's what I will never drop until it's done. The players need representation, and then I'm all for all the regulation that comes after it. I'm all for it.
Well,
Except for the antitrust
they are
exemption.
getting. They've got plenty of representation, just bad representation. Like what does
No,
that
no,
look
no. I'm saying a
like?
collective.
And agents.
All of the athletes in one organization represented.
But why would they do that? Their players are absolutely scoring in this new system. That's the biggest winner of all.
Well,
They're
I
making money that they shouldn't be making, honestly, because there's no market caps.
If college football was structured correctly, and there's ways we could talk about how that needs to happen. We've done it. We'll do it all off season. This is not going away. If you joined us just to talk about whatever you thought we were going to talk about, what we're talking about today is going to be the entire off season. So just the news that we're going to follow is going to track with all of this stuff. And this is probably the biggest key. If we can get them to basically say this organization is going to represent our interests, and in doing so, we give up necessarily these other things. If college says we're offering you a collectively bargain agreement and you don't opt into it, then now the universities collectively can say, fine, we can screen you out. Because we do have an organization that's representing 99.9% of the players. We're only talking about what? The 0.001% of all Division I college football athletes are getting $3, $4, $5 million contracts. Everybody else is like 50 grand, 100, 500 grand, something like that. The averages are so much lower. Those outliers, just like the quarterbacks in the NFL could make a gaggle more money if they weren't part of a CBA, they have to be in the union to play. You cannot play in the NFL without being in the union. So that's how you bring it back, Ute. If the negotiations are in good faith and college shows up and says, we're offering you this CBA, everybody's attention will now fall back from benefiting the players, which is I think everybody's still on the player side generally, and it will flip. Because then college can now say
anymore. I don't think there's any sympathy for the players. I think the players, a lot of people feel like the players took advantage of the program. I think that's exactly the feel today.
Well, depends. I think maybe through lenses it'll be different. That's probably true.
Hey, you know what?
I don't know that it is though. Go ahead.
Let's do some super chats. We've got a backlog.
Super chats. What?
30%. This is from Town Hawk. 30% more equals looking at Lubbock living adjustment. CFB peek around the corner with Greg Flugar. If Texas Tech wants to pay Perich $2 million to miss tackles in Lubbock, go for it, muchacho. Greg is still a little upset by Coy Perich's play this season.
Hey! Before you switch off that,
yep.
Can we invite Greg to the show? Can you send him the link?
I can, but I saw in chat that he left. He was going to go eat dinner.
Oh, was he? Okay, because I'd love to. This is twice now I've seen this message that he's put out that says, I now want a Big Ten breakaway. I have no idea what that means. I would love to explore and find out what he's actually saying there. Because on Twitter, I don't think he's communicating what he really means. So I'd love to talk to him about that. But if he had to leave, that's cool too.
Yeah, if you're not here, regulation. Right, within the Big Ten and the SEC.
I'd love to ask him questions about it.
He wants to boot Texas Tech out because they're spending 30% more. And
then you're going to have to kick out Ohio State. You're going to have to kick out Michigan. You're going to have to kick out Alabama. You're going to have to kick out Georgia. You're going to have to kick out LSU. You have to kick out Clemson. Well, maybe not Clemson, but Miami for sure. Look, it's just that's just not reasonable. That's not gonna happen.
Greg, if you're still watching and you want to hop in here, just shoot me a text and I will send you the link, sir.
Or just send it to him and it could be sitting there. I can do it. You don't have to do it. I can do
it. Evil Badger. My issue is that he signed a fucking contract. I replaced the bleeping with fucking.
He signed a contract, but again, the contract was an employment contract. It wasn't tied to any labor. It was tied to just his personal, just his face. His showing up. So what are you actually attaching? You can't steal his face from him. You can steal his right to resell his face, but that's not going to stop him transferring. He'll just go somewhere else and somebody's going to write him a one-off check. He'll get paid and it won't impact the school at all.
Okay.
That's what's going to happen if they don't let him go.
One more super chat, then we'll do a bunch of sounders. This show has convinced me the Big Ten needs to break away.
I wanted. That's what I was reading.
That's
what I was reading. Yeah, I'd love to talk to him about it.
We got Tawtown Hawk. We gave him a little hawk sounder, but we'll give him one of these too.
Let's see. Seahawks. That's what I'm saying. Seahawks. Seahawks.
Well, that goes on for That's for Ryan Willie and the Evil Badger, and we'll give Greg some Minnesota sound. Okay.
Keep going.
All right. That's it. We had 4 super chats that were just backed up. Oh,
okay.
And then Greg texted me. Did you send him the link?
I did. Yep. Tell him to check his. I do have news from BYU. We now have a defensive coordinator and an associate head coach. Kelly Papinga has been promoted. He is a BYU lifer. Has been at BYU pretty much his whole career. He is the new DC, and this one I'm really happy about. They have promoted Sione Puha as the associate head coach, and I believe he's still going to continue to work on the lines. That is a fantastic defensive group of backfill Jay Hill, and we did keep Gary Anderson as an associate head coach, so an advisor. So I think BYU is going to be just fine.
Greg will be about 5 to 10 minutes. Easy.
Okay.
So
awesome. That's great.
How much do you guys want to get into this contract situation? Because I found a pretty interesting article.
Keep going. Let's go.
I can share this, but to be honest with you guys, it looks like it's getting pretty technical. It looks like there's a FOIA request that had some information maybe last year on Washington structure for contracts.
Okay.
You guys, Moan, how deep do you want to go?
Hey, I'm telling you, this is the news of the day, Ute. This is absolutely the news of the day. We could talk about this for hours, and it's just going to continue to move. So let's talk about it.
All right, here I'm going to pull this up. I'm just going to skim through this too. Let's get to the super chat. But
yeah, please, go. I'm getting caught up on Twitter, so go ahead.
Okay, just real quick, Bomber. Fergie is in the house. Colorado Buffaloes.
Woohoo! Hey, Fergie.
Has a question for you. He says, "You're saying that rev share is not a real deal. Also, the AD is collecting revenue from TV for games that players are in and then paying the players. That is a real contract for services."
So what I'm saying is, of course, revenue share is a portion of the money that can be spent by a university, right? Up to $20.5 million. That's how much they're supposed to spend. And pretty much, I think all the universities are in that realm. They're going to 17, 18, something like that for football. And then the rest of the money is going to basketball and other places in general. That revenue share money is tied to these contracts that they're basically trying to tie down the players to the schools by saying, if you do something or break this, you're not going to get your revenue share money from us. And then on top of that, they're going to sue for damages. And that's what the lawsuit is now. It's for damages if they pursue it. It's not to enforce a contract that is not tied to anything. It's going to be for damages lost on their NIL rights. That revenue share money can be walked away, and a player can unenroll, re-enroll somewhere else, and be immediately eligible and get however money they want off book. Now, technically, that's supposed to be tied to a trade in services, right? And that's why the school is saying, no, we're going to hold on to those rights. And that's going to be where the challenge is, where the player goes, well, wait a second. You can't solely hold on to those things because I haven't tied my entire self to you. I've just signed up to this personal contract, essentially. So I'm going to do it, and I'll be able to do whatever I want to on this other end. What everybody needs to understand is none of this is established law. It's claims. The contract that the Big Ten wrote, what had claims in it of ownership. It's never been adjudicated. The Miami case is still outstanding with Wisconsin. Unless it has been settled that I hadn't heard about, that is still outstanding. So this lawsuit really has nothing to fall back on except for saying, you signed it, we're going to hold you to it. So if the school wants to pursue it, they can go after damages, but it's not going to stop the player from moving on. I hope I answered that question. Did I answer that question clearly? Did you guys understand what I was saying? I want to make sure I'm not double speaking.
I understood what you're saying, but you know, you and I have different opinions on this. I think you're right. They can sue for damages, but I'm not so caught up in allowing the player to play and just accepting it.
I'm not either. Actually, I'm just saying that's what's allowed now. I'm not saying that it should be allowed.
Right.
I'm not making a value judgment about how it works. I'm just telling you from a nuts and bolts perspective, that's what he's going to do if the school continues to pursue this and doesn't release him from his contract, or doesn't go into the transfer portal and allow him to move. But as everybody saw, the kid from Wisconsin, he's at Miami right now.
He is, but you're right. That's still in the courts. They have not settled that.
It is not settled. And maybe a court will adjudicate it, right? And maybe a court, then once there's a precedent, then a Washington can say, see, our contract is the same contract. We want to enforce the same thing. And obviously state laws might be different, but that mechanism still hasn't been settled. It's not settled law. So.
All right, let me play a sounder for Fergie, and then we're going to get Greg on here.
Yeah, let's go. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, Fergie, you guys picked up Isaac Wilson, backup quarterback for the Utes, too. In the
Did they? That's going to be, that's a win.
Luck.
He's a good player. He just needs some coaching. He needs to go to a school that actually knows how to build quarterbacks.
We'll see. We'll see if you can get it done.
Hello, Mr. Flugar. How you doing? Happy New Year, brother.
How are you three chumps doing tonight?
What's up?
Kicking ass, taking names, you know.
Yeah.
Greg, this is a mess. We need your thoughts on this. We need to understand.
I really appreciate your opinions, Greg.
Well,
even if they're wrong.
It's an opinion that none of you three are going to agree with.
That's okay. We don't agree with each other right now, so that's okay.
I absolutely Moen, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to be as professional as I possibly can. Moen?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right. I absolutely 100% blame Demon Williams. Of course. He's a grown man. He signed the contract. This idea that only contracts are binding in a CBA world is absolutely 100% delusional. Now, this guy screwed Washington. He screwed other guys on his team and other student athletes in the Washington athletic department. This isn't child's play. He signed a big rev share deal, which takes away from other football players in Washington and other student athletes. So if you notice, I'm sorry, guys, but if you notice, if your team, when your guys start signing these contracts, your team and hey, he signed.
Right.
When Demon Williams signed the contract, other Washington guys signed based upon what Williams was getting. So he screwed his own teammates. So I look, he's a grown man. He's going to make more money than I'm going to make my whole life. This idea that this guy should not get any blowback is absolutely ridiculous. Second thing.
We're not going to address these one at a time.
I don't know. I mean,
let him go. Let him rant.
The second thing is, this ain't no perfect system. We know that. It's the system we have because we were in this class action lawsuit and we don't abide by it. The back pay is going to, but I guess people don't really they're not really concerned about it, I guess. We got all these Power 4 schools, every single one of them agreed on all this stuff. Okay. So this idea, I would love a CBA, Nathan. I would absolutely love it. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. Give it to me. But couple things. Wild Jute could not be more correct. Why in the hell would the 1-2%ers agree to a CBA? Why would the super agents agree? At this point, why would they agree to any of it? They're not going to. We have turned this into a circus. We've got the 1-2% super agents, the 1-2% super athletes, and the 1%, 2% boosters running this thing, and it's terrible. It is absolutely gross. And a CBA, I would love a CBA, but here's the problem with the CBA. At this point, you can cheat in a CBA. You can absolutely cheat. There's nothing stopping a school from cheating in the world of a CBA. There's no like magical wand that, oh, we're in a CBA, a collective bargaining agreement. Utah Utes, you got $27.5 million on a soft cap. If you go up to $32 million, you have to pay a luxury tax of $250. I'm just making an imaginary CBA, right? There's nothing stopping from Utah from cheating except for Utah. Just like in the NBA, just like in the NFL, just like in the the franchises are following the damn rules. Why? Because it's best for their business. It's best for the NFL. I am at the point. I mean, if schools are going to be talking to guys who have a rev share deal, these schools they're going to keep cheating. They're going to cheat in the CBA world. They're going to cheat whenever they want. That's just what they're going to do because they get off on it. This is what they are. And I'm trying to use good language here, but it's complete. It's complete. It's absolutely complete BS. So there it is. I'm at when Nathan asked about the breakaway. Look, I don't want a breakaway, and I don't even think Minnesota would be included in a breakaway. But I don't blame a breakaway at this point. You can't get all these schools together on anything. They can't, even when they have to, even when they're forced to agree, because you have this class action lawsuit coming down on you, they still can't abide by their agreements. So what's the point anymore? I mean, what is the point? So Big Ten, I mean, and on the Big Ten, all these people saying, well, the Big Ten template is incorrect, the contract. Come on, man. We all got this. There's rev share deals. People are making deals constantly. 99% of them, the players are going with what the deal is, and so is the school. But you got Demond Williams, who does a deal, a whole bunch of money. 4 days later, he won out, and suddenly people are running over themselves to say, well, you know, it isn't his fault. It's the system's fault. Give me a break. At this point, give me a break. The floor is yours.
Oh, can I jump in here, Nate?
Go ahead, yeah.
I just want to bring this up. I brought it up earlier, Greg. What do you think would happen if a school, let's say somebody doesn't perform? Say Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State has a bad season this year, gets injured. School says, we're not paying you based off of your revenue share contract. Which, according to this, you could legally do that. You just say, well, we're not paying. Sue us. We're not going to pay you. How villainized would the school be?
Yeah, the schools, it's like, I guess the deals only go one way at this point now, right? We have fought for so long to get student athletes the money they deserve for the labor that they put into, and these schools are obligated to pay that money. This is great. This is fantastic. But now we want to piss all over it because one guy says, well, you know what, I can make $2 million more. And you got some bonehead super agent on X who rips on everything because, guys, he wants a Major League Baseball system. He wants this thing controlled by a couple of boosters and a couple of agents. He rips on these deals. He doesn't want to mention the word rev share deal. He only goes, well, the NIL. This is a rev share deal from the university, direct payment to Demon Williams. He signed the deal, and now, well, this ain't good enough for me. I had 3 conversations by 8 o'clock this morning on it, Mullen. I told you about it.
I told you were texting me at 4 a.m. your time.
I think I got. I might have. Sorry about that. I had the Big Ten is just completely irate. I told you about it, Mullen. And then later on, Pete Thamel writes that they're just basically the Big Ten's like, what the hell's going on? Now our contracts are no good. Our play. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? Just so we can rattle our fist in the air and go, man, we need better representation. Well, we don't got it, guys. This is the best we got right now. And we're going to shatter these athletic departments if this class action lawsuit falls to pieces. Break away, Big Ten. Break away. And if you don't take Minnesota, we'll try to get into the Big 12, the ACC, and whatever. But break away, for God's sake. Break away from this mess. If people cannot follow any damn rules at all, go, baby. Go. Don't let the door hit you. Just leave. Let everybody else go behind you.
Police. What happens to anything that's not policed, guys, in life? It becomes a cluster.
Yeah.
It becomes a cluster, and that's what college football is. There's no police. There's no agreement for a police. There's fighting back.
There is an agreement here. So Wild Ute, right? You got the Big 12, right? You got the Big 12 conference. You got the Big 12 handbook. You can Google it. There's a whole bunch of rules that all the schools have to follow. You know what the schools do when they're in the association with the Big 12? They follow the damn rules. There ain't no CBA involved, right? There ain't no, but they follow the rules because they've all agreed we're going to be part of the Big 12. These are the rules that we follow. We're going to take care of the student athlete when they get injured. All these sets of rules. Where here we are, we had this association. We had to come together because of the class action lawsuit, which people don't believe is real, I guess. And we've come to these decisions, but now we're going to blow it up because it ain't quite perfect. It don't work for me, brother. Wow, Jude, give me the list of schools that are on this special list that they don't have to follow the rules. Somebody provide me the list.
Yeah, I could give that to you really quick if you want to go write a pen. I'm dead serious, Greg. Go ahead.
Well, Michigan was number 1.
Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU, Texas Tech, Notre Dame. You could put BYU in there. USC. The list is not 2 schools. The list is probably 20 schools deep. So it isn't just one poster child, Greg. We're talking about a bunch of schools that are exploiting the rules as they're currently written, which is a FUBAR. That's not a justification for bad behavior. I'm just telling you it is what it is. But it's not the same thing as saying all these schools are going out there and cheating. They're not.
Well, the problem is when you try to enforce rules, remember the CSC was getting some momentum, and then it got stopped up in Texas, the state of Texas, largely by Texas Tech, largely. Yeah. The CSC
they weren't the only ones. There were some SEC schools that also paused on that.
They're the poster child, seriously. And the way that they flaunt the money and 30% more, I'm telling you, man, they are the poster child for this. They are. They are NIL's poster child. So like it or not, the state of Texas, they blew it up, so there's no regulation. They don't want regulation.
Is on that list. Texas A&M's on that list. That list is maybe 30 deep.
I don't know if these schools are breaking the rules, to be honest with you. I don't know if they are.
That's the thing.
I don't know.
Let me back up. The CSC thing
Yeah.
was screwed up from the beginning. The negotiation was done in a panic mode. Everybody said, had to do it, or we're going to have
we
this
had to do
$50
it.
billion deal. Rush and do it. Hurry, rush and do
Yeah,
it.
we
No
had
matter
to
what.
do
You
it.
have to, anything's better than nothing. And let's do all these things. Oh, by the way, they left off the memorandum that now nobody agrees to that actually includes the enforcement. That should have been put in the agreement at first, Greg, and then nobody could bitch and moan because it was in the thing they did agree to. This
People are
wasn't in it. I'm not conflating anything.
No, what they're not
Enforcement?
agreeing on is
Enforcement.
what they're not agreeing on is the schools not suing the CSC. The schools
Right.
not helping their but they all agreed on the sports, the CSC. They all agreed on the Deloitte. They all agreed on all this. That was
not
part of the
all
settlement.
not all of it. They didn't agree on all of it, or else there wouldn't be any other discussion about it. We wouldn't be talking about it if they'd all agreed to everything.
Well,
They were
did.
building it as they made it.
It's all part of the settlement, Nathan. It's all part of the settlement, the House settlement.
It
all of it.
It simply
What-
isn't, Greg. If it was, it'd be done.
Well, it is done. That's the point.
It
That's
isn't
the
really
point.
though.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's the creation of the CSC. All the schools are paying into the to the payment of the CSC.
Yes, they are.
And the Deloitte. It's all built. It was all part
Yep.
of the House settlement. What people are what this whole thing about all the schools have not agreed that they would not help their attorney general to sue the CSC and other thing. That is a whole different.
Giving up some of their rights is part of a larger agreement. Put it this way, if it wasn't in such a rush, do you believe now, looking back on it, that should have been part of the agreement?
Yes. Do you know why?
So if you stop. So if you say yes to that, then you have to agree to the larger picture, which is broken based on a broken premise. The premise is broken. So there was no way they were going to get this larger agreement for enforcement and non-suing and all these other things if it would have been done in a slower manner. And you and I had this conversation several times. The difference between just get it done and do it right, there was a massive gap between those two things. And people hoped that the settlement would sort of work its way out. Is anybody really confused that the schools that aren't signing up to that are from the state of Utah, the state of Texas, the state of Alabama, the state of Florida, the states that have the most liberal antitrust exemption type rules? There was no way those schools were going to give up those rights unless it was part of something much larger, which is my whole premise is. All of this could have been done in one or two agreements. A CBA could be done in one agreement. This enforcement model in CSC, NIL, Deloitte could have all been done right in a different agreement, and we would be having different conversations right now. Right now, Damon can move. Nobody can stop him from hopping in his little Yugo and driving down to LSU and playing for $6 million. What's going to happen is Washington's going to sue him, and they're going to get some of that money back. He might only clear $3 million, but he's going to go down there and play for an amount. University of Washington's going to be able to reallocate that revenue share, and everybody's going to keep going. It's not going to stop anything. What we need to do is deal with the bigger issues, the issues nobody wants to dig into, the painful issues.
To be fair,
we were in a class. BYU signed off on the deal.
I know.
Utah signed off on the deal. Ohio State signed off on the Minnesota. Yes. You know why we signed off on the deal, Nathan?
I don't. I'm not in Minnesota.
Well, that's the problem, because they had us under their thumb. They had us beat. They had the NCAA and all the schools beat. The House lawyers. They had their way with us. We had to negotiate. It wasn't like the only reason we're paying $2.8 billion in back pay instead of $20 billion is because we had to come to an agreement. It's almost like, and I get it, I mean, all over X, everyone forgets about the House settlement. It's like nobody understands the context of why we made the deal. Utah, I'm sorry, Utah, but you had to make it because you were done. You were beat. Minnesota was beaten like a drum. Buckeyes were beaten like a drum. BYU was beaten like a drum.
If they were beat, then they should have put in the enforcement and the teeth to be class actionless. Sorry, antitrustless. They could have put that in the deal. We wouldn't be talking about this right now.
So the judge, so for this deal to happen, the judge, the lawyers, the schools, and the NCAA all had to come to some sort of consensus to get this deal done. Okay,
but it had never been done before. Let's be very clear.
I know
this
that,
is an
and
agreement that has never been done
perfect.
before.
And of course, it wasn't going to be perfect. Before this deal, we did not have rev share. Before this deal,
Right.
Steel Matthews weren't getting all this money. Suddenly, we're so much better off now. But nobody can abide by the goddamn rules.
Well,
It's like, no, Nathan, you're talking about a CBA that's going to clear everything up magically.
no, that's not what I said.
I
That's
call
what I said. I
BS
said
on
it's-
that. It
Yeah,
ain't
I
going to
said
clear
it's
up
one step,
jack.
Greg.
The same schools are going to, you can do an end round around a CBA like a lickety split so easy if you are absolutely engineered to cheat. And you don't think there's going to be boosters that are going to be going around easily around a CBA?
Oh no, I know there will be. Of
Why
course, yes.
would
Yeah.
schools even agree at this point to a CBA? Most
Because
of the schools.
The
Why?
only way, well, because until the players have some sort of representation as a class, there's no way these deals are going to continue to be broken like this kid did in Washington.
Demond Williams signed a contract.
It's a personal services contract. It has nothing to do with him playing football next year. It doesn't have anything to do with it.
Nothing to do with playing football. What is he getting paid for?
He's going to
His
get paid
name,
by a
image,
booster
likeness.
down in LSU. He's
What-
gonna,
what
no,
year?
he's gonna get paid for getting out of this car one day or a dirty pair of socks. He's gonna get his money.
He's not getting paid for playing football. Is that what you're saying?
Not until you have something that
What?
says he's a declared employee or in some
Wait.
university.
You don't need to be an employee to have a binding contract. That's another thing that's being.
You can
squared.
no, that's great. That's not what I said.
These agents, man, I tell you,
That's-
they've gotten into you. The
That
whole
is not
idea.
what I-
The whole idea that there's no binding contracts unless it's under a CBA.
That's not what I said. You keep conflating those
Okay,
things.
what
I have
are
never
you saying then?
said that. Let me say it, and hopefully I'm clear. The CBA by itself fixes nothing. It's step one of a 20-step ladder. At the end of the day, until we have something where the athletes are treated as a class, there's no way they're going to be able to now restrict that movement because everybody didn't agree to a movement restriction. The NCAA has no teeth on whether you can transfer now. You can transfer free every year. The only teeth they have, the only control they have is a personal services contract tied to their name, image, and likeness that has nothing to do with whether they're actually enrolled in the school. It has to do with them showing up and participating in the name, image, and likeness. They are not being paid to play football. None of them are. They're getting name, image, and likeness money, but they're not. It is not a restriction of trade for them to move. So he can unenroll, re-enroll, get money from a different source, and the only lawsuit teeth you have is for them suing them for the personal services loss, the advertising revenue,
First
and
of
the
all,
other things.
First of all, I will agree with you that a CBA would be the first step of many. Okay, I'll agree with you on that, Nathan. But this should have been the first step.
I agree with you.
But it ain't. because people are just screwing with it. And
you and I agree on that. I agree with you.
And a rev share is different than an NIL deal.
It is. Yes.
Okay. So this guy signed a rev share deal to play
with the university.
Football.
Yes. Yep.
Football. He signed the contract to play football. He should not have. You know what? He should not have signed the contract. right?
He's
If
not
he
getting.
wanted to play at LSU, should not have signed the contract. At some point, man, you've got to be. You are. Demond Williams is a grown man. At some point, he's got to be accountable. And I look. Is it LSU that's trying to get him? Right?
That's what the word is.
Okay, let's say that's true. I'm embarrassed for LSU. I'm embarrassed for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, but Lane Kiffin he has no soul, so it doesn't really matter. He doesn't care.
You know that guy has signed a rep. You know that Washington has been damaged by this. Washington has been absolutely damaged.
They're going to get Noah Fafita, maybe even a better quarterback.
They have been damaged by this. They've been damaged. They thought they had a signed deal with a guy, and they've been screwed. They've been screwed by Demond Williams, and they've been screwed by who's ever trying to get him.
He is not.
I don't see the Buckeyes doing that. I don't see Michigan doing that. And if I hear they did it, I'm going to call them out. This is a one-off so far.
Well, it's not. Again, let's not. What are you saying? Let's not. It's the player doing this. It's not the universities. The universities aren't turning around and suing somebody just for the hell of it. Washington's not doing that. They're suing because you see that they have a loss. You mentioned it earlier. He sent out texts after he signed his $4 million deal telling everybody, come to Washington. I'm going to be at Washington.
Yes.
2 days later, he wants to leave, right? That's the damage that you're talking about.
That's the
maybe
damage.
there's a little bit of it. Maybe there was a little advertisement around that, right?
Well, there's also damage. I mean, and like I said earlier, he screwed other players on Washington.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I'm giving you all that. If that's the case, if there was a CBA in place, they would be able to attach and join all of his money, not just the revenue share, which is all they're going to get now in trade from the school.
So what is stopping? Excuse me, Nathan. What is stopping?
No, you're okay. Go ahead.
What is stopping Bear Bachmeier from playing the first 3 games at BYU and saying, "Oh, wow, Jude, I'm going to play for Utah in Game 4 because this."
He can't do that because there's a rule. No, there's a rule. You can't play for two.
There's a rule, really?
Yes.
There's a rule, and we're going to follow that rule.
It's a rule that
we're going to follow.
You could file a lawsuit and challenge it, but in season, getting a settlement that quick, that's not going to happen. It wouldn't make sense.
There's rules that we follow, other rules we don't.
Look, there seem to be some little existential rules for whatever reason that people have decided not to sue about. Maybe one day we'll get a lawsuit when player says, "I want to go play for Utah in the same season." That may happen, but it hasn't happened yet, so they're not going to change the rule.
And I know I've given Moen and Wild Ute a headache. So let me finish off by saying this. Greg the Cooler. Which way do I go on this? Greg the Cooler is going to pick if Demond Williams goes to LSU. I'm going to be picking LSU to win every single one of their games. Greg the Cooler is going to put LSU on ice. All right,
Do it.
Thanks, guys. I gotta go. I appreciate your time.
No.
Nathan,
thank you. Hey, Greg, thanks for talking to me. I really appreciate you.
And I'll say this.
I appreciate you.
The Big Ten they've had it.
That's because there's like the lack of regulation, though, Greg. That's because of the lack of regulation, correct? That they've had it. Like
it's like they think they've got something with this big group of and it's not. Now it's just.
Let me ask a question and then you can leave, Greg. If the Big Ten was actually the Big 12, would they throw their hands in the air and say we've had it? Or is the Big Ten throwing their hands in the air because they're the big guy sitting at the table? And I'll leave you with that. Because I don't
quite understand the question.
If the Big Ten right now is ruling the roost, they're
I don't
getting
think
all
they
the
are
players.
ruling the roost. I think that's the problem. They're not ruling the roost.
No, I think they are.
No,
and they don't want to be. Sure, if you're the one in charge, you don't want anybody taking your guys.
I don't think the Big Ten is. That's my point. Obviously, the Big Ten did when they structured all this, guys. They did not believe that schools would be going after guys that had a rev share agreement. There's no way anyone thought that was going to happen.
Don't you think though that's on purpose because they already have all the built-in advantages?
No, I mean we're all in the same boat, Moen. I mean, Nathan. BYU's not expecting their rev share guy. They're signing guys to get taken from other teams. We're all in the same boat on that.
Oh, I think everybody needs to look. I'm holding my breath until Bear Backmeyer comes out and says I'm coming back next year. I think every
that doesn't mean anything anymore because Demon Williams just said it. We're all in the same boat.
It doesn't mean anymore. So I am nervous continually, actually.
So what I'm saying about the Big Ten being done, no, the Big Ten ain't ruling nothing. I mean, look at the portal window, right? Stupid as hell to have it right now. Just dumb.
Yeah, it's a waste of space.
Idiotic. Yeah. No, it's idiotic because we still got the playoffs, right? But what was the one conference that was against the January portal for this year? It was the Big Ten.
Okay.
But the SEC, the SEC and the ACC and the U3, the other three conferences agreed in accordance to the governance model. You had the votes to overcome Big Ten. The Big Ten can't get its playoff, can't get support from the Big 12 and the ACC. Now their template deals are being no. The Big Ten has thousands of reasons to say at this point in time. So good luck. I got to go, guys. I appreciate it.
Take care,
Greg. Good night and good luck. We'll see you later, Greg.
You got it, buddy.
Thanks. Bye. Let's give him a bunch of Minnesota Sounders there, Moen.
Minnesota Sounder.
I haven't talked to him for a minute. That was nice.
And by the way, we just have to say this because I don't want to get sued for damages. We in no way believe that Demon Williams drives a Yugo. That was pure speculation on Nate's part. He should have said take his alleged Yugo down to allegedly LSU. Very important that we put that out there.
I think the best part of all of that is that I think we've all now come down to we all generally agree with the premise. If we don't agree with the application, and I would say that's youth area, that the money is obscene. I think we can all agree to that. I think it's silly that there's any college players making anything close to what an NFL player would make. I've always wanted players to get paid fairly. The market right now is absolutely broken. There's no reason it should be inflated like that. And there's ways that we can fix those pieces of it. But none of that can happen until we involve the players as a group, as a class. And I keep hoping that one of these deals is going to be the thing that finally gets people to move on that. And believe me, now more people are talking about a CBA today than have been talking about it in the last 2 years.
Maybe we should just all go bankrupt. Maybe we should just let the house settlement should just bust up, and then we get sued into oblivion. We go bankrupt, every athletic department, and then start from scratch.
Maybe, or just blow up the NCAA and build something that actually works. That's what I would.
The NCAA has been blown to bits. It doesn't even.
Yeah, we need something else. We need a commissioner of college football. We need a group of legislators that can put rules together that are enforceable. We need representation for the players. We need a college football playoff format that brings in the most schools that for the most reasonable amounts. For competition. There's lots of things we need to fix. But this NIL thing, this paying players, it's a symptom. It's not the problem. It's a symptom of a much larger problem in college football that we all have to deal with. Maybe it is. I think the NCAA is simply not built at all to manage college football.
Well, they certainly screwed up. But like they're out of the game. They've lost all their influence.
I agree with you.
The CSC is basically your regulation arm, and they're neutered. People won't
until they
waive lawsuits against them and everything. So you're basically saying that like you've got all the leverage on them. They can't enforce anything, and so you're in the wild west of unenforcement. And it's a miserable game, guys, because there's no rules. And when anything has no rules, it's not really a game anymore. You need structure around game or sport to have like competition. To have like we don't have any of it, and like it's really disappointing to see. And seriously, like if you went and got in every single athletic department filed for bankruptcy because there's no settlement anymore, that might just cure this whole thing. That might just ruin it all. Then all of a sudden you can rebuild it from there. I'm serious about that. Like it's better. It's probably better than what we're looking at right now, because we're basically going that way anyway. Because athletic departments are going to bankrupt themselves. No one's making money anymore in the athletic department. You see all the financials for all the universities. There's all large losses. They're getting larger and larger because of rev share increases. And so we're already moving that direction. It's not a profitable venture anymore that we're in. It's a bad investment. And it's just being run by little toy boys playing booster, big billionaire booster, wanting to be an NFL GM, and then I have no ownership in it. It's bunk. I hate it, actually. I really do.
Speaking of bunk, we got to get to super chats, guys. Come on.
Go, brother. Go.
LC versus the Earth. USC is a beacon of hope in a world of shit. Let's give him a little fight song.
Oh, I thought you were going to play something else.
He's a Trojan fan. Give him that Trojan fight
I know
song.
he is. I was thinking you were going to play like one of the jivey songs. I was just about to dance.
Oh,
So-
What is a Yugo? Sorry, guys.
you don't know what a Yugo is?
You
No.
don't know
My
what a
friend
Yugo
owned-
is?
I had a friend who owned a Yugo
Oh,
in high
I'm
school.
so old. I'm
and a
so
Yugo,
old.
you don't go. That's what we
A
used to
Yugo-
say.
A Yugo was a car that came out in the 80s that was made in Yugoslavia.
It was a very cheap-
Yugoslavia was a communist country, and it was one of the worst. It was absolutely the worst car ever made. It was so bad. You could pick them up. 4 linemen could pick them up and set them down places, and anyway.
That's a Yugo.
That's
right
a
here, right?
Yugo, yeah.
Yep,
They weighed
Yugo, you
they
don't
weighed
go.
like only about 1,000 pounds, maybe even less than that.
and it was impossible to get parts for them. So when
They
broke
were just
down-
bad vehicles, bad. Just bad. I'm sorry, I
Williams
said
is,
Yugo.
He's oh, man.
Well,
You saying you can't control your bitch here?
Pimpin' ain't easy. Oh, sleazy. Pimpin' ain't easy. Pimpin' ain't easy. Pimpin' ain't easy.
now that massage comment from earlier makes a lot more sense, Nate. Hey, Moen, why does the Big Ten let the SEC get what they want all the time? LC versus the Earth. Tune in Friday to my latest episode, Transactional versus Traditional, on Moen Confidential. We will be talking about that exact subject. You're a member, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. I've got my script up, so we'll get it all taken care of and put out there on Friday, and definitely check that out, because I think we're getting more towards a transactional arrangement with the SEC than a traditional arrangement.
Can you define that at least so people understand what you mean?
Well, transactional is there's a transaction involved, like a payment, a trade of goods for a promise.
Okay.
For example, the Big Ten getting on board with 5 and 11 based on the idea that the SEC would give them a scheduling agreement or do bowl tie-ins exclusively with the Big Ten.
Got you. Okay.
It's transactional versus traditional. So definitely
Okay.
check it out, LC versus the Earth. I think you'll like it.
You're
Let me go
14.
deeper than that.
Commissioner, not Josh Pate. Well, I agree with you on that 100%. Tatown Hawk. What's Yugoslavia? Me punches steering wheel yelling F-bombs,
Oh, my-
realizing I am old.
Oh my gosh, you people. You are so dating me right now.
Yeah, Yugoslavia doesn't even exist anymore.
Nope.
Means
That would be
Czechoslovakia.
Bosnia, Herzegovina, Serbia.
That's right.
Let's see. Where's the country that Macedon is another one? Macedonia. Anyway, yeah, all broke up now. Different countries.
Yeah, that Cold War. Some of us remember that Cold War. We
Cold
remember
War,
how
yeah.
Rocky settled it all in Rocky IV.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Inspirational
no
speech
doubt.
from a boxer. Yeah. So, thanks for the super chats, everybody. I think I got everybody
Woohoo!
there. Just give one more sounder just in case we missed it. Utah's getting screwed.
And then let's
Straight up, you guys
follow.
get screwed.
Did we do all the super chats, Moment? I thought we still had a couple. Did we get them all?
Nope. I think we got them all. We got them
You
all.
did the Josh Pate. You did the Josh Pate commissioner.
I
one?
did the Josh Pate one. I laughed
Alright.
at that one. I agree that
Okay.
that's the worst commissioner possible.
Yeah, no,
It's
there's
Josh
others
Pate.
that I would put. Bob Thompson would be my pick. But let's talk some playoff games, huh? Let's do some fun stuff here.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right, start it up, Moen.
Well, tomorrow night, Miami versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss has most of their coaches. Two of their coaches have decided that they need to stay in Louisiana and LSU to work on Portal Kombat. They have entered the arena for Portal Kombat.
It's cool.
So Ole Miss is going to be down a couple coaches. I don't know. What do you guys think of this game? I got to be honest with you. After watching that game against Georgia, man, I kind of like Ole Miss.
You like Ole Miss in that game, huh?
I kind of like Ole Miss. I just think that quarterback, watching what he did against Georgia.
Trinidad Chambliss is who you're talking about?
Yeah, just and maybe he's got enough magic in him to get one more game out. Maybe two more games. I don't know. Listen, I know Miami fans are going to come at me and say I'm salty, and Texas Tech fans will say I'm salty and all this stuff. But I like Ole Miss in that game, and I bet it. I bet Ole Miss. So,
what do you think?
Yeah, let's share screen here. I want to look at the lines too in this game.
What is the 3.5
right
for Miami or for Ole Miss?
Yeah, so Miami's
favorite.
Right here.
Yeah.
Miami's favorite. Okay, 3.5.
Yes.
Boy,
man, guys, I bagged on Miami like right before the playoffs started, saying they're the most overrated team in the playoff, and I was way wrong about that. So I'm not betting against Miami. I've seen like a nasty, tough defense, a great running game for Miami. I think that they've got the stuff to get to the title game and compete versus the Indiana Hoosiers in the title game here. But I just think Ole Miss has been a nice, Cinderella story. And I think Cinderella's going to get beat here. It's been nice and everything. There's just too much stuff that's gone on, too many coaches distracted. I think Miami's looking at them, and Miami's hot right now. And I think Miami takes them out probably by 7 points, say.
my opinion is that Miami wins. I think what we need to take into consideration, they lost a couple games during the season that everybody knows they shouldn't have lost. But this is a team that made it up to what, number 2 or number 4, whatever it was. And they just, just like everybody else, you have that little blip during the season and whatever. But I did pick Miami at the beginning of the playoff. I thought that they would get beat by Ohio State. That didn't happen. I think they do beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss is the Cinderella, though. We do have to admit that. And Cinderellas have all kinds of special magic around them. So they could pull off another win. I think their ride is over. And it was a nice ride. They got to the CFP. They won a game. But I think Miami continues on into the championship game and really makes a statement. I think, what'd you say, 10 points?
I think 7 points in this game.
Okay. I think 7 to 10.
Miami's hot, though. And even FBI said Miami 58% to win this game, roughly.
Yeah.
The lines even moved up a half a point if you're looking at just how the betting markets, the analytics are moving. So I think that a lot of, there's a lot of support for that take too. But Miami it's just hot. They're hot. And Ole Miss winning that Georgia game was a miracle win and stuff. And I just feel like Cinderella's kind of just worn out a little bit.
I don't think it was I don't think it was a miracle win. They earned that win. It's not like there was a fluke, several fluke touchdowns or anything in that game. That Ole Miss played their ass off, and Georgia did too. credit to Georgia because that was a fantastic game. That was the best game we've had in the playoffs so far, and I don't think any of us called that being the best game. I think all of us thought Texas Tech Oregon was going to be the best game, and it turned out to be a dud. So credit to Georgia and Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Miss is a Cinderella as much as I think Ole Miss deserves to be there, just as much as Miami does, if not more. They only had one loss in the regular season.
Okay. All right. Next
up,
Moving on
be
to the next
Friday
game.
night, Indiana, Oregon. Line on this one, 3.5.
Dang. FBI once says 70% for Indiana in this game. I mean, Indiana did go into Austin and beat Oregon earlier this year. Line opened at 4. It's creeped down to 3.5, so some money on the Ducks. But man, this is going to be a close game. I think this is candidate for the game of the year, guys. I think it's going to play out like this. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. And Indiana, just with the balance that they have, gets it done in some type of miracle fashion. Because Oregon's a dang good football team, but Indiana's done it once at Oregon. They're going to do it again, and they're going to get to the championship game.
You want me to go, Moen, or you want to go next?
Yeah, you go first. You go first this time,
Okay.
and I'll close it out.
I think this is going to be painful, especially for Big 12 fans. But I think that the lack of offense at Texas Tech made Oregon look like they were this monster rolling down a stone rolling down a hill, gathering speed. I think their lack of offense sort of shaded how good Oregon really is. When you get short fields, lots of turnovers, and you're playing against a team that can't punch back, you're going to look really good. I think Indiana might embarrass Oregon in this game.
That's a take.
I think Indiana probably at this point wins the national championship, but it depends who gets through. If Miami gets through, I think that'll be a good game. I just think their momentum is a lot more than Oregon. I think Oregon's getting jazzed up for this game. Obviously, they lost before in the season. I think Indiana's still better. Oregon's lost a bunch of depth. I don't know if you guys heard that, but they lost their starting running back. And then they had 2 running backs go to the transfer portal. For some reason, people are quitting on this team in the transfer portal when they're about to go for a national championship. So something's going on in the locker room at Oregon where players aren't being treated the way they want to, and they want to get out before they even make it to the playoff final.
It's all about the money.
What's that?
It's all about me. That's college football today. Money. I don't care. We're about to win a title. Screw you guys. I'm going to go get my bag.
Here's the thing. They'll get a ring anyway. If Oregon wins the title, they get a ring anyway.
Okay. The bottom line is, I think when you've got linebackers subbing in for your drills and your playoff build-up practices, you got problems. So I think Indiana is going to – I think they could beat – 10 points plus – that's where I would bet. 10 points plus. I think Indiana is a team of destiny right now. So we'll have to see.
You might have to bet on the line then, Nate.
I don't bet on sports. Huge. I'd go broke if I bet sports. I'm not going to do that.
I think that CFP Mafia needs to have maybe like a little parlay here, Moen.
If Moen does it, I'm not against,
Moen
having
already
a team
did a
thing.
parlay. Moen already did his parlay for the playoffs.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, the first game I have Ole Miss in the under. I took Ole Miss getting 3.5.
Okay.
So Miami can win with a field goal, and I'd still win that bet as long as it's the under.
Okay.
And I've got Indiana in the over. I'm with Nate. I think Indiana goes out here and really lays one on Oregon.
Oh man.
I think they win by at least 10. But they definitely win by more than 3.5.
Yeah.
And I think Indiana's going to go out there full steam ahead. I don't know that Oregon's going to be able to keep up with them. Oregon's defense looked really solid against Texas Tech, though.
That's like playing defense against a defenseless baby. I mean, Texas Tech had no offense.
Well,
like none.
They had no. Yeah, but I don't want to take credit away from the Oregon defense for that. I mean,
I'm not
Finney
saying Oregon
Jr.
didn't play well. I'm saying Texas Tech played bad. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
I think both
You
things can
both
be true,
equal.
but
I'm saying both
yeah,
things are equal. Yeah.
I like Indiana big in this game. I think Indiana's marching towards their first national championship.
Crazy.
And for the third year in a row, it'll be a Big Ten national champion, and it'll be Indiana.
Well, let's see. Let's get through this weekend. Next weekend, we'll meet and we'll talk about the final. Indiana and you. What are we doing here? What are you doing?
We're celebrating Indiana for who she is.
Oh my gosh,
She's beautiful.
You need to pay some respect for a school that's going to win their first national championship, man.
How is that not paying respect right here? This is a nicely clad Indiana logo right here. It's a beauty.
I'm not saying they're going to, because if Miami gets through, that's going to be a ball game, I think. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
3 out of the 4 teams competing have never won a national championship.
I know, it's amazing.
Dang.
And that does not happen without transfer portal. That does not happen without NIL. That does not happen without a new season of college football. So all the bemoaning, all these complaints about paying players and escalating contracts, and now more people are watching more football than ever before. Doesn't mean it's done in the right fashion. Doesn't mean that they're doing it perfectly, but more people are watching more college football right now than ever. And that $7 billion, $8 billion, $9 valuation that's going to come from Cody Campbell next year, and he's going to come up with a new one, and he's going to say, this is how I can share that with everybody. One day in the future, not too distant, I see that we are talking about a unified system that is like the NFL, love it or hate it, and you're going to have the best brands playing top football, and it's going to be all year round. So double what the NFL is right now is 64 teams. I think it's close to that.
All right. Evil Badger 72, Ryan Willie says 1984 Winter Olympics was actually in Yugoslavia, nowhere. I was really young there, but I don't remember. I vaguely remember that.
It was in what was Srebrenica? Is that what that was? Yeah, I know what he's talking about. I thought it was in Finland or something, but that makes sense. I know that Sochi is in Russia. I think it starts with an S. Anyway.
You're thinking of Seoul, South Korea. That was 1988.
No, I'm not thinking of Seoul.
Okay. Well, by the way, 1984 is probably when this commercial was airing.
Probably.
Towtown Hawk has it. Sarajevo.
Wow.
Yeah, Sarajevo. Thank you. I told you it started with an S, didn't I? Didn't I just say it started with an S? Don't tell me I don't remember things. All right, Moen, let's plow through some of these comments you've got flagged here. You want to work backward?
We can't. You know what? Let me go through here and we'll pick some because we've got guys. I want to thank everybody for engaging tonight.
I know.
We've got
thank you. Thanks for listening to us.
Bulldog Mississippi says pimping ain't easy.
Pimping ain't easy. That's Nate's saying right there.
It is.
Ain't easy.
It's okay with me. I'm fine with it.
Skaven yes says having a billionaire backer don't bring wins.
There's a strong correlation with it, though.
No, it doesn't bring wins. Let's be very clear. Texas A&M has done that for decades. Texas Tech is the new Texas A&M. Let's be very clear. Texas A&M has been spending the same money or even more for decades. It's just been under the table. They have all access to oil money too. Texas A&M ain't no poor brand in the state of Texas, and they haven't won anything. They made it to a playoff and looked bad in there. Yeah, and then got embarrassed in their first game. It's silly. I mean, how many points did they score? Like 3 points? What are we doing here? It's not money. Money doesn't necessarily follow. I mean, success doesn't necessarily always follow money.
But
I think it's an interesting discussion looking at all the playoff teams this year and saying how strong is their NIL booster support. Seriously, like if you look at
let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, pull up the field. Let's see.
I think there was a post about that actually. Somebody did that.
Was there?
I
haven't
didn't
seen
bookmark it. I seen it. I didn't bookmark it. I should have.
There's a bracket. Okay, here.
Uh,
Let me see.
Fergie says, isn't a billionaire booster similar to an NFL franchise owner? Even they have to follow a salary cap and rules for free agency.
They do, but there's a CBA. There's a contract with the players to do that.
And even illegal endorsements a la Kawhi Leonard.
Good old Kawhi.
You've got like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Universe with
You like that, guys? You like
from,
that?
like from Pumping Iron.
He's wait a second.
He's
He's taking drags off his little what do you call those Mister things on the side?
All right, here's the bracket. All right, here we go. Okay, so we had obviously G6. They got in. We know that the NIL support's not there for James Madison and Tulane.
No.
We agree on that, right?
Yes.
But let's look at just going down the list. Oregon, A+ level NIL support, right? Phil,
Absolutely.
Yes, has been forever. Oregon's on that list. Yep.
Texas Tech, A+
Obviously.
level NIL support.
Yep.
Alabama,
Yes. A+.
Oklahoma,
Yes. A+.
Indiana.
Well, now we know with
Cuban.
now that we know Mark Cuban. I didn't know that until today. Mark Cuban's bankrolling them.
We have
So
a
yes,
little
they're
benefactor
A.
there, right?
Yep.
And then like Tulane, G6.
Ole
Do
Miss,
we
yes.
know Ole Miss? Do we know the NIL situation for Ole Miss?
Yeah, we do, because when Lane Kiffin was negotiating, they offered him in the exact same money. They said, you go get a bid from anybody else you want, come back to us, we'll pay you $1 more.
Okay, so it's good. Is it up to A+ level?
But Lane Kiffin's contract is paid by the state because it's a public institution. That doesn't necessarily reflect NIL. We don't know.
I think that maybe not A+. Give him an A then, or a
Give
B+.
him
That's
A
fine.
or a B.
That's fine.
Yeah, A.
Yeah,
minus.
that's fine. That's fine.
I don't know. I mean, Georgia seams like they would have an A+.
Yes,
Yeah.
Georgia and Alabama, yes.
Miami A+ too.
Yes. Plus.
Texas A&M A+. Ohio
Yes.
State. There is a theme here, guys.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
It's basically,
And it's not just Texas Tech. Okay, can we just get that? Quit that storyline. It's not just Texas Tech.
I'm salty at Texas Tech just for raising the market though. Like
That's fair. They're inflating the market, but
they're
they're just
everybody else
following
up
in
because they've got the booster, right?
But they're just basically, here's a stack of papers. They're just pushing their nose into the middle of them. That's all they're doing. They're just entering the party and they're public about it. That doesn't mean they're doing it any worse than anybody else is doing. In fact, I could argue a lot of those brands have been paying a lot more for a lot longer, and maybe even right now have more expensive rosters.
So do you need a billionaire booster to get to the playoff, guys?
It helps.
In today's
helps.
yeah.
It helps.
It helps, right?
Yes, it does.
For Mitch Austin, Texas Tech should only be singled out for embarrassing themselves in the CFP. $40 million roster, and they got shut out and lose by 4 scores, making the case for the Big 12 being a G6 league.
One thing we can always count on is we can always count on Rich popping in here and saying everybody sucks but the P2. We got you, Rich. We hear you.
Agent firm's logo was on the ad, but keep bitching. I will, because that agent was paid by Cody Campbell, and then Cody Campbell tweeted it out.
Okay, whatever. Let's move along. Everybody backing on Texas Tech. It just cracks me up, seriously.
Everyone has a limit, or Michigan wouldn't have lost Sullivan today.
I have no idea if that's true. I haven't seen something. Who is he? He might have been replaced by somebody they brought in from Utah or BYU. So
yeah. Michigan's
I
think
he was
there is
he was either a true freshman or just a freshman.
Yeah.
And
that's something we didn't talk about. Let me bring this up really quick, because I did talk about this last night. Something else people need to understand is these players are being told at the end of the season by the better programs, maybe not all of them, but the ones that are most forthright. I know at BYU they do this. Your position is probably going to be filled this offseason. You're on the roster. I don't know the situation with if they signed 4-year Scholarship deals, those are details I haven't sorted out yet. But they do tell players this next year you're probably not going to be playing. And in doing so, it gives them an opportunity to go find a better gig. BYU did that with 9 players. 9 players went out the very next day and, entered the transfer portal. Not every school does this. They all treat them differently. But we need to understand that the turnover isn't always because they want to leave and go to a better school. A lot of times their job has been given to somebody else. And they basically say, go ahead and take off. Go somewhere else. We'll let you go.
Yeah, that happens. Okay. Yeah, that's happened a lot of Utah. And hey, they're on scholarship, but if they're never going to play, they're kind of getting pushed out a little bit.
Exactly. Yep.
Hey, look at BR. Look at BR. Hey, just want to give this man some kudos.
Hey, BR in the house. He's back. He got a new membership.
I'm so happy that Oklahoma State is back, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Freaking back, baby. I love what they're doing in the portal right now. I love that the fan base is back engaged. Oklahoma State has the TV ratings wise, historically the biggest TV rating brand in the Big 12 conference. It's needed. It's one of my favorite fan bases, and I'm so stoked to see them back and getting some swag and stuff. I hope you compete for the title, and I hope you lose to Utah Utes in the Big 12 title game, baby. Congrats, though.
The Big 12 is much better when Oklahoma State is tip-top. There's no doubt.
100%.
So we'll give them a little Oklahoma State fight soon.
Love it.
Glenn Hanna says Washington has to play at Autzen next season. I don't blame him for wanting to leave.
Okay.
Well, Glenn,
sure
I mean,
that means, but
Indiana played at Autzen this season. How'd it go? So
revenge game.
I don't think Autzen is the undefeated palace that people think it is. It's tough to win in Autzen. I'm not going to deny that, but I think there's tougher places to play. Are you Yeti? Yeah, I mean, if I was a player, I would probably be chasing the bag.
Yes, you would. Of course you would. Yeah. If you're here and you're told you can get $6 million instead of $4 million, you're gonna take it. You're lying to me and to your family and to everybody you talk to if you actually say that out loud. Nobody's not taking that $2 million.
Yeah. Evil Badger is still bitter. I'm assuming he's talking about Xavier Lucas, Miami situation.
Yeah, that hasn't resolved itself, right? We're still dealing with the same Big Ten deal. I know Greg's up in arms about it, but until it's enforced, until a judge says, yeah, you have to pay damages to break this, this is going to keep happening.
Timothy Green, who is a new member. Greg Fluger, I hope you enjoyed your wonderful supper.
Renewed member. Absolutely, Timothy.
The Big Lubbock, Utah would be a good fit in the Big Ten. Crappy men's basketball and football falling faster than a meteor. Basically crappy athletes and overrated academics. How many Big Ten schools are in the Final Four?
I have no idea. Did they have any?
Two.
It was SEC. It was all SEC. It was all SEC.
Oh, I'm talking about the Final Four in football. I'm sorry.
Okay, so okay.
50% of your field is Big Ten schools, and we're talking about Big Ten football falling faster.
It is very true, though, that schools are making choices, a la Utah, to completely starve their basketball programs in lieu of supporting the football programs, and that's okay. I have no problem with it. If you're making a tactical decision, that's where you want to put your money. Go ahead and do that. It's not a problem. But I will tell you this, the schools that are able to do both over the next 4 years are going to shine brighter than the schools that are just doing football. I said it, I'm done.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, to me,
I think that's true.
Basketball's pretty irrelevant. But that's just to me.
We're talking in the perception of your program. I think it makes a
I don't think that anyone really gives a crap about basketball. Seriously, seriously. That's why
I don't agree with that.
That's why UConn can't get in the Big 12.
Yeah, it's true.
Basketball's nice, but football's everything. So starve it all, feed football.
Yeah,
Dave,
it's a strategy for sure.
Ask Kyle McCord. I don't understand quite what he means by that. Kyle McCord was granted his ability to go in the portal, and Ohio State always paid him what he was owed. I don't understand that. You might have to clarify that, Dave. Devil Frog's in the house. Break away and replace it with
Woo!
what?
Devil.
Another feckless body that gets kneecapped by the courts at every single turn.
Hmm.
Big Ten ain't breaking anything, and if they did, how does it change anything? The other schools will still be playing by the same rules. Check out that members only video on Friday, Dave. I think that'll answer a lot of your questions of what I've heard from the wizard.
Can I
Big Ten wizard?
Go ahead, Nolan. I was just gonna say, after you do this one, can I share something really quick?
Sure can. We're gonna do 2 or 3 more comments, and then we'll let you share it more on the show, Nate. Okay.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Bulldog, Mississippi. Employees or student athletes? That is the question.
Student athletes.
Oh, that is brilliant, sir. Big Lubbock says winner of Oregon Indy wins the Natty.
Okay.
didn't
I
agree
think
with
if
the
you're a
man.
Texas Tech fan, you're praying Oregon embarrasses everybody going forward. That's what you're hoping for.
Johnny Jackson, the Emperor X8N. Good to see you, Johnny. Appreciate you. If you're new here, go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe. Those things are free. Help us boost the channel. If you're watching us on demand, leave a comment. That helps boost the channel. That's all free. Doesn't cost you anything.
So
he says SMU wins the Natty in 5 years.
I was just going to say, you know how I was mentioning the 20 programs, 25, 30 programs there at the top. They can spend whatever they want, and I think they'll be successful. SMU is not one of those. I don't see them winning a national championship in 5 years under the current rules.
Now their boosters are running out of money too.
Yeah, and they're
That's the
bleeding their
mustard.
boosters dry. They made the move. They hoped they would get instant wins. They got into the playoff last year, got embarrassed, and now they're going to the boosters again. We need more money. We need. For 2 years, we saw SMU stealing all these players. I haven't seen one announcement from SMU. When I follow SMU, I haven't seen one big announcement come out of SMU about some recruits are getting out of the transfer portal. You're bleeding your boosters dry. You guys need an apparatus around it, like a system to put money into, and then that money can be used to bring in players. Just writing checks has a finite lifespan.
Did you follow the Golden Road? There's a 0 chance there's going to be a Big Ten SEC schedule agreement. Well,
I agree. Yep.
if you want a 16-team playoff, depends on if you want a 16-team playoff. You want a 16-team playoff? You got to have the Big Ten on board. Can't do it without the Big Ten. Big Ten can say
no
let's sit at
scheduling
12.
agreement. No scheduling agreements.
Okay, well, Wizard might disagree with you.
A wizard.
Don't
Okay,
mess
just
with
'cause-
All right,
y-
that's our last comment. Let's go ahead and we'll let you share what you need to share, Nate.
Oh,
and then we're
good.
gonna wrap
All
it up
right.
here.
I don't know if I want to wrap it up. I'm on a heater here. Okay, let's see. So you can't see this, unfortunately. I can't make it bigger. But these are viewership numbers. Can I do this? Let me see. There, okay, a little bit more. These are football viewership numbers through January 2nd, which covered most of the bowl games. Look who watched what where in college football last year. Oregon, no surprise, near 60 million. They're on the Big Ten Network. They're on Fox, and they are Oregon. Look at
And they're
number
in the
2.
playoffs.
And they're in playoff. Look at who's number 2. BYU is almost
BYU.
38 million. Almost
That did
38
include
million
a
views.
championship game that most of these teams didn't play and a bowl game that most of these teams didn't get recorded.
Oregon's
These
played
are
2.
highly
Oregon's
inflated, Nate.
played.
You're
Oregon's
talking to
played
the
in 2
TV
playoff
guru
games.
right here. Don't be
Oregon's-
lecturing me on
Oregon's-
TV ratings.
Oregon's
No, man,
played
like
in
you
2
can have your
extra
flowers
games.
and stuff, but disclose the truth here.
Oregon's. I didn't undisclose it. I just hadn't
I've seen
mentioned
this
it
for
yet.
like a lot of BYU fans. Totally like, oh, look at the flowers. Look at the
38
viewership.
million.
You had a Big
38
12
million
championship
viewers.
game and a bowl game factored in here, man. And most of these teams, the bowl game hasn't been recorded.
That's not
So you had 2 extra
through
games.
January 2nd. It's all through January 2nd. You don't say that. That's not true. It's all the viewership.
Utah's bowl game
January
was not
2nd.
in these numbers, dude. You go check it. You think they'll lie to you about viewership numbers?
Your bowl game.
You're
it was not-
juicing. These are inflated numbers. These are not real life.
Well, I
They're not
didn't come up with
included
these
in the
numbers. This Super West site came up with the numbers. I didn't generate these numbers.
Because the other bowl games hadn't disclosed the numbers yet. So I know you're trying to flex on BYU's number and everything, but this is the reality, dude.
Let me ask you this. What would your bowl game number have to be to even be close to where BYU is right
Utah
now?
wasn't in the Big 12 championship game. What was that
20
number?
million
Take that out. Let's
difference,
adjust
dude.
that number out and the bowl game number out with
20
talk.
million.
Why don't you watch the video that I put out there where you can see the actual regular season
20
number?
million. 20 million is the difference. Not 5 million, not 8 million. 20 million is the
Oh
difference.
my gosh, dude. This is the all right. Flowers. BYU. Fantastic.
There we go.
Best
That's all I
time.
wanna
The
hear.
first time you've had good viewership in 20 years. Congrats.
And I told you 2 years ago that in 2 years BYU would be above and flexing in the Big 12. So you can get mad all you want, but that's not what the numbers
You're
say.
not flexing when there's more games included in that number, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like
There are 2 games in the. I even gave you. Let's just add a number. There are 20 million. I give you 2 more Utah games. Are you going to close the gap on 20 million difference?
Nate, Utah's beat BYU in viewership 9 out of 10 years, and you're flexing like this.
I'm
When have
flexing
I ever
because-
flexed on this channel in 3 years on that to you
Oh.
specifically? Never. Never.
What? Well,
What are you doing right here? What's the point of this? You flex on the BYU's ratings? We're trying to give them flowers. Is that what you're trying to do here?
No, you obviously you're sensitive about this. I was bringing it up just to talk about BYU. I wasn't going to mention Utah.
I
at
know
all.
you were. I know. I smelled
Okay.
that very much and stuff. And I'm saying there's 2 extra games that are included: a Big 12 title and
but
a
not-
Pop-Tart Bowl.
but not $20 million.
Well, the Pop-Tart
20
Bowl
million
got 9 million
difference.
viewers, didn't it? How much did the Big 12 championship game? We can do the math on that. Why don't
The
you go
biggest
watch the
numbers
regular
that
season
either of
video?
those games had ever had, by the way. Was
Yeah,
that an accident?
okay. I think that
No.
anyone playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl would get good numbers. I think if Notre Dame was in there over BYU would have got better numbers. Like, great, BYU's great and everything, but like, come on, BYU's not some mega brand. We're gonna need to be honest about that. Like, I know you want that. but that's not reality.
I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure that's
Okay,
true.
and I figured you were right there. I'm just telling
Okay,
you that is true.
But I wasn't gonna make a claim one way or the other. All I was gonna do is show the data.
You bring this
That's all I was
up
gonna
and you
do.
bring that on. You're bringing the television ratings guru right here, and you're bringing it up to flex. Like, come on, man.
Okay, well, this was not pointed at you. If you felt like I was coming at you, I didn't see your video. I have no idea what you said in the past. I wasn't going to say anything about Utah. So if that's how it came across, I apologize. That's not what this was. I just came across this in passing, saw that the number was up through January 2nd, and was just going to share what the number is compared to Oregon and USC. I wasn't going to say anything about anybody else, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry if that triggered you. Obviously, you've spent some time on this, and I
spent
didn't.
a lot of time on this.
I did not know you had done that. Okay. So we need to put everything in context. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, we also have to say there are lines in the sand, and you can draw parallels in history. And it's not about this year. It's where we're going to be in 5 years. I was going to bring it up in ESPN is going to want to keep BYU around. That's all I was going to say.
And this is going to back up both of your arguments here. It was 8.7 million viewers for the Pop-Tart Bowl,
It was.
but it was also the highest rated Pop-Tarts Bowl since 1991.
That's what I'm saying. That's also a glow. That's what I'm saying. The same thing with the Big 12 championship game. It was the most viewed Big 12 championship game ever.
Yes.
So
at
both those
9
numbers
million
were
views.
massive.
So it was
Yeah,
roughly
both those numbers were massive numbers. is
20
all I'm
million
saying.
viewers from those 2
roughly
games.
18
From 2
million
games.
viewers.
So
And-
From 2
yeah,
games.
just for that. Just be real, just for that.
No,
I mean,
I never
Is Utah-
claimed it was different, I never claimed it was different.
Is Utah's bowl game not in that number?
You'd
no.
saying it isn't. What was if you did the math? What was
I
the
don't even
number
know if
with
that
the bowl
game's been
game?
disclosed yet because those numbers haven't been released. I don't even know Utah's bowl game number, guys. I really don't.
Okay,
And it
so you
came
can't
out-
really
the game was
say.
a couple days after the Pop-Tart Bowl, so the numbers are staggering. They get released later. And it might be out there. I don't know Utah's number,
Do you
but
think
I do
it-
know
but
for 100%
can we guess it's-
fact.
Let's say it's
It
7
will not be
million.
8 9 million. It will not, because you're
Okay.
going against the other Michigan Texas game, right? And so like you're not going to beat that game out.
I can tell you, and you're probably not going to like to hear this. It
Okay.
drew 3 million. The
Okay.
number has been released. It drew 3 million. If that's of January 2nd, again, I don't know if that number's in there or not, but
Yeah, I don't know either because they haven't detailed. But let's put it in there. Let's say it's now 21 million. That's
So
still a
it's-
far stretch from.
it's just
That's
one extra game they played. One extra game. So take off 9 million, and that'll tell
This
you
is
where
why I
you're
think
at.
the bowl games, though, guys, like when Utah played Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, is like 20 million viewers or whatever. Stupid, right?
The
Like,
Rose Bowl gets a
so
massive
inflated
number.
by
Yeah.
your time, and like if there's any competition against it. That's why a lot of teams don't make bowl games too. That's why it's not apples to apples to throw college football playoff games or bowl games or title games into numbers. It doesn't make any sense. That's why you look at the regular season.
So if we strip those numbers, let's work on it backwards then. If we
Then go
just
check out my
assume.
video. Go watch my video then if you want to see that, because I did report on the regular season numbers.
So what was the difference if you did it reversed?
I
'Cause
think
BYU
that
was above either way.
BYU beat Utah out. Pull
Yeah,
those up
but
if you
not.
wanna see it.
That's not a flex though. I wasn't going to come and say that's a big flex because at the end of the season, the Big 12's, everybody in the Big 12's numbers are suppressed. That's
You
not
know
a
how many
flex to
times
say
I got
I'm
tweeted at with
100,000
this same
more
thing
than
that you
Utah.
just brought up by
Have
BYU
I ever
fans?
done that to you though? Have I ever done
Yes.
that to you? I've never done that to you.
This is probably the 20th time I've seen that over the last week and stuff. So I've seen this a lot.
I said Ute. Gosh, I'm sorry you are so triggered about this. I'm talking about me. I'm not representing all of BYU fandom, okay?
Well, I mean,
I would not do that to you.
I can settle this right now. Ohio
I
State's
haven't.
got
In fact,
better-
what I've done is when TV numbers come up, I say at the Wild Ute. Do you know that? You know that. I copy you in all the time because I want you to turn around and flex on people doing stupid stuff. I do it the reverse.
I think I can settle this by saying Ohio State has better ratings than both of you.
There you
So-
go. That's
And I
easy
will
enough.
flex it. So flex.
The problem is, and the reason it's so sensitive, and the reason people get passionate about it, and some people do stupid stuff with the numbers, is because nowadays people are looking for any edge to advertise. Any edge, anything they can put in their social media, anything they can put in a post on Twitter, or sorry, on Instagram, you know, a TikTok or something like. That's why that's why it matters to people. But I just don't do that. In fact, I have more than once defended you, Moen, everybody on the team because we're a team, right?
Yeah,
Team
you
matters
don't-
so much more than individuals.
Yeah, you don't need to defend me, Nate. There's no defense for me.
Well, you're on my team, so I do, whether you want me to or not. I mean, I love doing it. It's something I really enjoy. I think that's where the value is. We protect each other.
Okay, so for the cap end on this discussion, check out Ute's latest video.
Yeah,
on the,
good. Yeah, sell
Big
that.
12
Ute.
television ratings, and you guys can go from there. But we've got to wrap up. We've been on the air for over 2 hours here, so I want to thank everybody who tuned in for this special Wednesday Big Freaking Friday show. Much appreciated. I want to thank everybody who dropped a super chat. Towtown Hawk, Greg Flugar, Ryan Willie, our friend the
Yes.
Evil Badger, Ryan Willie. Fergie was in the house. LC versus the Earth. Towtown Hawk
Wow.
again, and then Evil Badger some more, and Towtown Hawk again. Oh, look, we got one more.
Yikes.
I led this club in 9th inning doubles in the month of August.
Mm.
Name that movie.
Major
I have
League.
no. Yeah, Major League's about the only baseball
That's
movie.
the only thing I could think of. Major League, baby.
Or like a Field of Dreams.
Does sound like Major League. It sounds like
This
something.
is Major League.
Oh, what about the Kevin Costner one, the emo one? You know, the I'm soft and gentle and I play baseball.
Love
What
of
was that
Game.
one? Was that with the okay? Was that one?
I
can't
don't think
remember.
that was it. I think Corbin Burnson's character says this in Major League.
Major League, yeah.
that
Or
he
any of
led
the other
club-
major leagues, like Major League 5.
Yeah, I led this club in 9th inning doubles in the month of August. Tell us if we're right, Towtown Hawk. Nope, Mr. Baseball,
Mr.
Tom Selleck.
Baseball.
Mr. Baseball. Is that's one where you go
Never
to
heard of Mr. Baseball.
that guy, yeah, that's Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
He goes to Japan.
He
and-
goes to Japan and learns to play Japanese baseball and gets all emo. That's another emo baseball movie. A lot of emo baseball movies, actually. I can celebrate. Bear Bachmeyer back in the house. New contract.
Okay.
Everything's done. Bear Bachmeyer.
until somebody comes along and offers him more money and he leaves.
We are winning the Natty. 2026, baby. Let's go.
I ain't celebrating any damn contracts. Everybody's up in the market. There are no rules.
I got nothing to do all day. I can celebrate whatever I want. You're not the boss.
Well,
of
there
me.
you go. You're right. You can jack yourself simple on Bear Bachmeyer. Good for you,
Hey.
Nate.
Don't be too sensitive on my bear Bachmeyer. Don't be
Uh,
attacking my bear.
Thank you for the last super chat, Thoughton Hawk.
When's our
okay.
next? I was just gonna say, when's our next show? What's the schedule?
Our
What's
next
going
show is
on?
probably going to be Sunday for Mowing After Dark, unless you guys do a pop-up show for the playoffs.
I was thinking I might do something tomorrow or Friday. I might do
Nate
something.
might do a watch along, so stay tuned to his Twitter.
Or I'll just do a stream of consciousness show, and you can just watch me ruminate on all things broken in college sports.
Absolutely. And
Would
then
people
on
pay me to
Friday-
do that?
I don't know. That's up to you.
Maybe they may.
And then Friday we'll have that new members only video, transactional versus
Let's
traditional.
go.
Nate won't like it, but you can watch it and make your own judgments. and
There's
leave
no.
me angry
Yeah,
comments.
there's.
One more
Oh my gosh.
for Tot Town Hawk.
I'm feeling the effects of masculinity right now. I feel the testosterone. I want to go to war. I want a lightsaber.
Let's go.
I'm
Let's
a
go!
man!
Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will catch
When did you get into my shower to record that, by the way? I want to know when you were there in my shower to record that one. Because I do that every day. Abusing us. Moen is using and abusing us. I'm not used to being taken advantage of.
We will
I
catch
need
you
to
guys.
change that. That needs to be something different. I'm used to getting taken advantage of. That's what we need to be saying, I think.
Well, you just gave me another soundbite for my erotic
gosh.
thriller.
I can't.
When were you in my shower?
I'm not used to being taken advantage of. I'm in trouble. I am in big trouble. Moen, you're a
Straight up, you guys.
mean man. mean man. Oh gosh. You guys crack me up.
You're a bad man, Moan. You're a bad man. You are a bad man, Moan.
What the heck? Wait a second. What's going on here? I've lost control. What, Moen, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. What did you lose
Before
control of?
presenting screen, what? No, what did it just do? It like before presenting screen, what's it saying? Remove other media. What media are you sharing? That I can't share something. Oh, here we go. There it is. Just so everybody knows. Bear is back, baby. All right, now you can turn it off.
All right.
Let's go. Good
Thanks
night,
everybody
everybody.
for joining us. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
See you later.
later.
Peace. Go Hawks.